So we know now why to improve, that we actually need to improve to, keep a company in the market. The final question here in the slide is how to improve, right? How to make sure that we're using less labor, less energy, less space, less materials to produce more value to our customer, right? So first you need to look at what does that mean? What does that mean to produce something, a product or a service? And we come back to this what do you call the process view. So kind of this drawing here that explains that companies make processes or perform process or operations by the use of their inputs. So that's called a resource view, right? So have inputs, and then you make transformations. So you take those inputs, like for example, to make a sandwich, we take bread and tomato and leches and meat and operator's time and the facility and the kitchen and an oven and a stove and whatever it is, and then you make the steps to make the sandwich, and you assemble it, you heat it, you put it in a packaging, and then you sell to customers. So then selling to the customer, you get your output. So you get food, you get service, you get the money back, right? So this is kind of a very simple, what we call a process view schematic here. But it kind of help us understand, okay, what should we do? How do we do things better, right? How do we produce things better, right? So it's important to understand that our decisions here on the process and operation. So how is the layout of the kitchen? How many people I have? What is the training level? What is the inventory level? How do I purchase? Who do I purchase from? All those decisions impact in performance metrics of the system. So, for example, you have a quality level, it could be high, low, medium, whatever. You have a cost associated with making that sandwich. We have an inventory associated with the decisions that we make to keep the inventory and the production planning and to replenish and lead time and all that. We have service level that we have from the customer side, delivery time, and many other ways that you can evaluate how am I producing things. Okay, and this called performance metrics, for example. Okay, so we use inputs, we make a lot of decisions, we make the product, we deliver, and we collect the data to understand how good or how bad are we doing. Okay, so these are the things that we can improve, right? We can improve the quality, we can reduce the cost, we can do a better job in inventory, in space utilization, in productivity. So there's tons of different ways of measuring what we're doing, and improving is about doing those things better, right? Improving those performance metrics. Okay, and how do we improve those performance metrics? By adjusting our inputs. Okay, pretty simple, right? So if I want to reduce my cost, I need to do something on my inputs. I need to, for example, have less workers maybe producing the same thing. I need to negotiate with some suppliers for buying things with a lower cost. Maybe I need to look at every cost that I have and find ways to reduce it. Right? Maybe I need a smaller facility here. I need to make my layout different so I can reduce the cost. So there's plenty of ways that I can impact on those performance metrics here by changing how I use my inputs, right? But on top of that, not only I use it and I know the way that I'm using it, or at least that I'm supposed to be using it, there's another concept that's called variation. Okay? And variation basically exists all the time in all my resources, right? So, for example, my worker is impacted by variation all the time. Sometimes the person can produce more, can produce less, depending on his state of mind, or how many hours you sleep at night, how many coffees you drink. You can perform more or less quality problems as well. So there's a lot of variation in the worker time. There's a lot of variation in the material. So I can buy from different places, and things happen where a truck get delayed somewhere. My supplier's not producing the product that week, and his machine equipment broke. So a bunch of things can happen with my materials. My equipment, the same thing. I can have an equipment that's not running very well today. So a million things can hit my inputs, and that impact directly on my performance metrics. So the way that I choose, the way that I decide to use my resources, okay, the way that the variation impact on the use of my resources, those things are going to have a direct impact on my performance metrics. Okay, so these two concepts are very important. Okay, performance metrics and my inputs, right? My resources that I use and how I use those resources. So two things: the resource itself, how I use it, impact on my performance metrics. Okay, so to improve something, I basically need to change things, change the way that I manage my inputs or the inputs itself, change the way that I do my process steps, or reduce this variation that's happening into different elements, different inputs in my process, right? Only by doing that I can impact on my performance metrics, and that's what continuous improvement is all about. Finding out what is the performance metric that you need to improve, then going back and find out what is the input that impact on that most, so you can change that input and have a biggest impact on your inventory, service level, delivery, whatever performance metric that you're looking at.